Okay, this is just a warning video, not a review video of the CPF Italia COMETA flashlight, the 2016 variety. After the fiasco that this group buy was, I doubt there's going to be a 2017 flashlight. It's certainly not one just like this. I guess those Italian guys do a light every year, but whatever. It's called the COMETA, or COMETA, depending on how you would like to pronounce it. The thing about this light, it was much hyped and much anticipated, and it turns out to be a huge piece of crap. The worst part about it is that BangGood, the place where it was purchased, is erasing all of the negative reviews on it, and the BangGood representative over at the Budget Light Forum, Neil, is not quick to reply, if he replies at all, to any kind of inquiry. Oh man, I'm having trouble talking. Oh my god. He doesn't really respond to any PMs or even in the threads about what's going on to like give you a heads up, let you know how it's going to be taken care of. And the big problem is that it's the light tends to short out. It's not built to spec. It has smaller than spec'd wires on the pill. The battery shorts against the back side of the pill, the business end, the positive terminal of the cell is makes contact with the back of the pill. It's not a reflector, but it's like the retaining ring that is at the bottom of the light on the emitter side. That's anodized and that's supposed to insulate it, but it doesn't, because the solder blobs that hold the wires down are so huge and messy that they're rubbing away the anodization, and that shorts on that end. They think the star is a little bit too small for the pill, and that's like can make contact with the outside edge of the pill and short the light. And the apologists over at BLF are saying like, oh, just easy fixes, you guys can fix it. And honestly, it's not the first time a whole production run of flashlights from a group buy have not been what was promised in the OP, and it's about time somebody put a stop to it, because the so-called easy fix of putting electrical tape over the solder blobs in the front and putting cut up milk jug washers between the cell and the back of the pill to stop this thing from melting down, and several of them actually melted all the way down. That's ridiculous. A $40 flashlight is beyond the budget category for a lot of people. Like, this is a real flashlight. People spent real money on it, and it should work out of the box. When you buy budget flashlights a lot, and I have about 125, 130 of them now at this point, you expect to have to like clean the threads, lube it, maybe tighten up the retaining ring for the the tail switch. These are all normal things. So like, hey, maybe the anodization on the head, the body, and the tail cap don't match perfectly. Maybe the pocket clip's not really great. And every once in a while, like less than 1% of the flashlights you buy from overseas are just duds, okay? That's to be expected. But when the whole production run of flashlights is melting down and you got to jerk around with it, that's not cool, man. That's not right. People should take responsibility for it. I'm not blaming the host of the group buy, but on the other hand, this is not the first time it's happened. If you guys recall, this budget light, Eagle Eyes, right? The original X6, this was supposed to be a huge hot rod, remember? You guys remember? It was supposed to pull like, I forget the exact number, like, way over 5 amps, and it pulls like 3, okay? So yeah, a letdown, because the light wasn't built to spec. All right, works fine. It's a nice light. No complaints, whatever. I forget what we paid for these, right guys? 20 bucks, whatever. Fine flashlight. You guys remember this? This is the Lucky Sun BLF edition, the D80. And yeah, the problem with this one was all these tubes were too short to take a protected cell, right? You can only use unprotected cells. And the apologists were like, hey, you get more performance with an IMR, so who cares that it's too short? Well, a lot of people prefer to have protected cells because we have non-hobbyists that use our flashlights, wives, kids. Maybe I want to give one to my mom. My mom doesn't use flashlights, but that's just an example. And you want a protected cell in there. Plus, a lot of people only have protected cells. So, you know, what were we supposed to do with this? And yeah, some of us bought longer tubes, and I use this got a cell in it. Yeah, this has an IMR cell in it for me, but you know, it's ridiculous. This is like the whole production run. Somebody decided they were going to change the spec, right? Whoops. So anyway, yeah, I think that, by the way, this was not BangGood. This was GearBest that screwed us on this one. I think GearBest should have sent out all new body tubes, personally, for free. And just like I think BangGood should send out new pills that are not going to short out and don't have to be messed with. And granted, cutting a milk jug up to make a washer, you know, no big deal for anybody who's a little mechanically inclined, and, you know, electrical tape, taking the light apart and jerking around with it. No big deal for me, personally, but it's ridiculous. It shouldn't happen on a $40 flashlight. And the worst part is, on all of these group buys, you have really huge threads that get a lot of hits and are, you know, easily searched for if you Google stuff. After the lights arrive, you have all kinds of guys making videos of it, right? So they get third-party advertising from it. The first 500 guys that buy into these group buys, you know, that gives BangGood or GearBest or whoever, like in this case, $40 times 500 guys, that's 20 grand. That's 20 grand of seed money. Obviously, it's not all profit, but they use that to like build way more flashlights, and they sell them all over the world. They sell thousands of them, and the third-party advertising they get from us by taking pictures of it on Instagram, you know, making video reviews, posting on various forums. Like we're like selling this stuff for them, and they can't even like get the spec right. Like, how is that? How should we? Why should we tolerate that? Anyway. So like I said, you know, if BangGood can't even allow the negative reviews that warn people of the problems with this flashlight to be remain up on their website, how can you trust them for anything? You know, very disappointed. Very disappointed. Whatever you do, don't buy this light. Okay? It's horrible. This is the worst light I have.